Radio Show. I have hosted 3 radio shows here in Las Vegas: the Nevada Home Show, Front Row Center Stage with the Stars, and the Rant Radio Show. Our main focus with this presentation is to call businesses like yours that we want to be part of the Italian American Radio Show and Podcast, a program nearly 3,000 years in the making. Welcome to the Italian American Radio Show and Podcast, coming live from Las Vegas, Nevada. We would like to share with you the journey of the Italian people and their culture through the years. As Sinatra says, the best is yet to come. Italian heritage didn't end with the fall of the Roman Empire. Its legacy was carried on through explorers, inventors, artists, and entertainers, even to this day. Dean Martin.
I love to get you on a slow boat to China, all to myself alone.
Domenico Mondugno.
Nel cielo infinito volare.
Frank Sinatra.
Strangers in the night, exchanging glances, wandering in the night. What were the chances?
Andre Bocelli. Giada Valenti.
We've only just begun to live. Why lay some promises?
Luciano Pavarotti. We hope you've enjoyed this presentation as much as we've enjoyed bringing it to you.
Hello, everybody, and welcome. My name is Chef Mike Leonetti. What a show we got tonight. If you got a seatbelt at home, you better strap yourself in, because we got 3 of the most fantastic people that are going to be on this hour show. We got some call-ins. We have the fantastic, wonderful Mr. Sal Santiago. Great entertainer. We have one of the best comedians, magicians, entertainment director extraordinaire at Ahern's Boutique on the Strip, the fabulous Mr. Lorenzo Clark. And when it comes to cooking, beside myself, this is the youngest. This boy's a prodigy. I tasted his cooking, and I got to tell you, to my right hand to God, it is absolutely the best I've ever tasted. And that's Mr. Am I saying it correctly? Ott?
Ott, that's correct.
Ott. And that's Joel Ott. Ottalino, but he cut it for short because he wouldn't have got the job if they really knew he was from Italy. Now, I'm only teasing you. So we're going to start today with my very special friend, Mr. Sal Santiago. Then we go back a long time. And everybody knows who I am. I had my mother's house Italian supper club for 7 years. We were the #1 supper club in Las Vegas. And unfortunately, due to the health of my wife, it was just a little too much. We closed the doors, but God has another plan for me. And what I'm about to tell you, you're going to go out of your mind. But before we go any further, let's put your hands together, sit down, get your coffee out, get your orange juice out. Hey, buddy, put that drink down. I can see what you're doing. You're supposed to be drinking. Put your hands together, Mr. Sal Santiago. It's my boy.
Good morning, everybody.
What's
Hi,
up,
Chef.
Big Sal?
Man, what's going on, Chef? How
All
you
right,
doing, buddy?
pal. How are you,
Thank you
buddy?
for the invitation, man. I appreciate that. You know, always nice to be with you and your other 2 friends over here, other 2 guests. I'm privileged to be included in this little get together. Thank
Thank
you
you
for
very
being with
much,
us,
Sal.
you know.
Even though you're not Italian, I had a lot of heat bringing you on. I want you to know that.
You know, I love you, man. You know.
Because, you know, as you well know, Francis, the gentleman that this is his podcast, when he called me, Mr. Sullivan, he says, Chef Mike, he said, I'd like for you to do a whole hour. And I said, you know, that sounds great, and I would love to do that, but I got some special people. He said, Mike, you bring on whoever you want to bring on, because when it's my turn to say what I got to say, then it'll all gel. So tell me, Sal, when did you come to Las Vegas?
Well, I came to America in 1980, you know, with a country and western show. You know, I was from Nashville, Tennessee, you know, and Vegas was going crazy at the time with the Urban Cowboy movie was just flaring all over the country. And, of course, every major hotel in town had country music. You know, and I was fortunate enough to play up and down the strip with my band, doing all this kind of shows. And overnight, almost, you know, a year and a half later, everybody pulled the switch and country music was out. You know, so what do I do now? Do I go back to Nashville again? Do I change my act? Do something else? So you know, but doing country music for so many years, maybe I'm ready to do a little something different. And I put another top 40 group together called Heart, Body, and Soul back this day. And we're very fortunate. We work up and down the strip again, keep going for about another 8 years, you know. And, you know, things started slowing down musically in Vegas. You know, the lounge started diminishing and the acts started to get smaller and smaller. And so I said, hey, I got to do something different here. So I started doing a solo act, you know. So I had previous experience playing guitar, keys, you know. I was, you know, playing some bass pedals. And I started doing my solo act. And I tell you what, it's been very well for me. And I just can't thank so many people that give me so many opportunities to do what I do. I was nominated the best one-man show in Vegas for 2019 and 2020, you know. And so I'm very flattered and I'm very honored to receive that achievement. And, of course, working at your place, Mike, you know, at my mother's house, you know, it was one of the, I guess, highlight and honor to be there because it was it's really, if you never were there, it was such an experience to be at your place. You
Well,
know?
the place was a throwback of 40 years ago. That's why I was very successful. But I got to tell you, Sal, not because you're my brother and you eat with me every Sunday, okay? You always grab that free meal on me walking in empty
you know,
handed.
I can't afford it anymore, so I got to hit you up, you know?
I'm only teasing you. You are the ultimate, because I never seen one man, okay, grab an audience for 3 hours straight. Ladies and gentlemen, when Sal played for me, he started at 5:30. He didn't get done to 8:30. Never took a break because people came into the restaurant at 4:30, 5 o'clock. They sat, they had dinner. They didn't leave till 8:30 because let's face it, we're all in bed by 10 o'clock. So those 11 o'clock nights, those days are done for people our age. But you did a great job, Sal, and I really mean that from the bottom of my heart. Before I get to these other handsome guys, okay, because I'm always conscious of the clock, tell everybody where you're playing now and what you're doing.
Okay, well, I'm right now at the Santa Fe Station Casino in a little, very nice restaurant over there called Leticia's. You know, it's been there for a few years, and Leticia was kind enough to offer me a position there, so working there. That's been very nice of her. And also, down the street from there is another nice restaurant and a brewery called Big Dogs, you know. I also perform in there. Yeah, but it's a pretty cool place, you know, there. And also, I do a lot of things at the German American Club with Sylvia. Was here a little early with her show. You know, I'm privileged again and honored to perform there a couple times a month. You know, and different other venues in town. And you know, Miller's Tavern. And, I just enjoy the restaurant, you know, scene. You know, other than fighting the big hotels down the strip, which I'm too old for that stuff. You know, I don't want to be up till 1 o'clock or 2 o'clock in the morning anymore. I did that in my younger days. You know, I don't want to find the traffic or the parking and everything else, or loading my equipment up freight elevators and down. You know, just like no, thank you, but no, thank you. But anyhow, so I appreciate you, inviting me to the show, Mike.
My pleasure. And you're there for 2 months. They gave you a 2-month
Yes,
contract,
yes,
didn't they?
yes.
Every Thursday. And what time do you start?
I start at 5 o'clock, 5 to 8, and I also doing the other restaurant, which is not going to start at the beginning of next month.
They're opening
it's
a
called
new
Letty's,
place.
Yeah. She already been open with that place downtown. She's opening another place on Charleston, which is 5,000 square feet. And that's going to be opening up probably the beginning of May.
Are they one of our sponsors here? Do you have any idea if they're one of our sponsors? No? Well, we're going to have to have,
We're gonna have to have a talk
we're
with
going to
them,
have to
right?
have a serious talk with this person, let me tell you. Well, Sal Santiago, from the bottom of my heart, I thank you very much. You are the best. You're the greatest.
Thank you,
And
sir.
I love you more than you could ever possibly imagine. You are the ultimate entertainer.
And so are you, so you're an inspiration.
Nah,
I'll tell
forget
you,
about me.
Don't forget about
I'm
what
washed up.
I'm just trying to get another free breakfast from you. You know something.
What else is new, Sal? And don't be late. 5 o'clock for dinner tonight.
That's
Thank
right.
you very much. Well,
Thank you.
ladies and gentlemen, that's Sal Santiago. Now, the next guy I got, you better sit down for this. I've been in Las Vegas since 1972. And this gentleman here was on the Merv Griffin show. He's not only a magnificent magician, a fantastic comedian. I've seen his act many times, and what really impressed me about this man, he does not use no foul language, because most of the comedians today that are on the stage, because we got a lot of children that come in, they have to use the word, you know, I don't want to get into it, but you know what I'm talking about in TV land.
Forget about it.
Forget about it. And I don't think that's right. And this man, I'm telling you something, is the ultimate. Not only is a great gentleman and a fantastic talent, and's been around for a very, very, when I say a long time, of what Vegas used to be, all right? This gentleman here is the entertainment director and makes it all possible to bring the most top, best comics at Ahern, because that's this piece of the show. We're going to talk about Ahern. And ladies and gentlemen, it gives me great pleasure to introduce the master of this dasher, the king of steam, the count of Monte Fisto. He's rough, he's tough, he don't take no stuff. So take off your shoes and smell your feet. That's my buddy Lorenzo from Fremont Street. Lorenzo Clark, everybody. Oh!
What an introduction. What an introduction. All right. I thought you were going to say the clown prince of Clark County.
Yeah.
Because when I first came to the Ahern, I said, I'm Lorenzo Clark. I own Clark County. And I said, well, I used to own Clark County. Now I sold it to Don Ahern.
Oh, well, Lorenzo, I got to tell you something. First of all, thank you and the staff for giving me a magnificent opportunity to perform on the 28th of April.
We're already sold out.
I know.
It's amazing.
Yeah,
it's amazing.
And
I
it's
tell you.
$25 a ticket, and there's no comps. Sorry, ladies and gentlemen, not with me. You got to pay to come and see me. You know that. Tell us about yourself. Tell us about what you did, how you came to Las Vegas. And I know you're with Ryan Ahern, who's a child prodigy when it comes to piano playing.
And now he's a full-grown man, and he is truly one of the great instrumentalists of all time. Great piano entertainer, kind of in the shadow of Liberace. Just to we know Lee was here, but no, Ryan is a completely total entertainer. He's Liberace, Wayne Newton, and a little bit of the King, man, dropped into there, man. So we worked together out on cruise ships, because I was what I call Vegas's Navy. I used to do cruises out around the world, and what a blessing to be able to do that when I was young enough to climb the cupola and all the great experiences I've had around the world. But I grew up in Southern California. My mother is from Trieste, Italy. That's where my father was stationed at the end of World War II, and they moved to Hollywood, California in the 50s. So I really am half Italian. People always say, you don't look half Italian. I say, well, you're looking at the wrong half. Now, I started performing at the Magic Castle in Hollywood, California, the clubhouse for the Academy of Magical Arts. So I learned from all the Grand Masters, and that got me onto the Merv Griffin Show and so many other TV shows over the years. I'm very fortunate to have an amazing career. And, of course, I started coming to Vegas with my parents. I think I was 7, 8 years old when Circus opened.
Wow.
And then, of course, I have great memories of performing. I think I did my first show at the Versailles Theater at the Riv when I was 21 years old. That was 1980. And I did the Landmark in '85. We shot a television special there before they imploded that. And
let's not forget Merv Griffin.
Well, no, that's what I was saying. Merv was my big break. I got on the Merv show, and then of course led to many other TV shows. You can go to LorenzoClark.com and check that out. But then I started doing the comedy clubs here in town back in the day, back in the '90s, late '80s, early '90s, with the Comedy Stop at the Trop. And then Catch a Rising Star when it was at Bally's, and then Comedy Store at the Dunes, and the Riviera Comedy Club with Steve Sharippa, who's now on Blue Bloods and was on The Sopranos. I mean, talk about, the guy booking the club is now this big TV star.
It happens.
Right? Yeah, I know, right? If anything like that could happen.
So tell everybody the affiliation, but most of all, the magnificent, unbelievable comedians. I don't know how you round these guys up.
Well, that's what I'm saying is I'm so fortunate to have just started very young in LA at the time when showbiz was showbiz and started coming to Vegas when showbiz was showbiz. So I know a lot of these guys. And then of course, friends tell friends and such. Like I'd never really met Pete Barbuti, but I saw him at the comedians luncheons with Cliff Lawrence, et cetera, et cetera. And now we got Pete Barbuti coming to the club. Okay, Willie Tyler and Lester I worked with on cruise ships, and now I got Willie Tyler and Lester coming to the club. Bobby Slayton, another legend, and J.J. Jimmy Walker, who was a legend at the Comedy Store, then became a legend there at the Dunes and then at the Riviera, et cetera, et cetera. So many of these great guys are just legendary comics that been in business so long, and I'm the young kid. So,
Now, correct me if I'm wrong. Is it 5 days a week you have entertainment in there?
Well, we have entertainment most days of the week. We have our comedy show Thursday, Friday, Saturday. So we were doing it last year on Friday, Saturday. The beginning of the year, we expanded it to be Thursday, Friday, Saturday. So, and we rebranded the show. So because the venue itself is the Ahern Live Showroom, we were just calling ourselves the Ahern Live Comedy Showroom as the show.
Who's coming up this weekend?
This weekend is we just closed last night with the amazing Stephen Pearl. Next weekend we have Jerry Bednob, who, if you've seen the Pauly Shore movie Encino Man, he's the guy that runs the 7-Eleven where Pauly Shore is wheezing the juice, and he's also in 40-Year-Old Virgin and many other movies. You've seen him. He's a character actor. He's of Indian descent. He used to call himself the Turban Cowboy. Okay, so Jerry Bednob is going to be the headline act coming up this weekend. We got the Circus Sisters, the Sin City Circus Sisters there tonight at the Ahern Hotel. We got all kinds of great acts. In fact, Ryan Ahern himself is going to be there on Mother's Day playing the piano with his full orchestra behind him. Doug Tan and the All-Star Band. They're going to be doing the...
Is that going to be upstairs where I'm going to be?
Yeah, in the showroom. Absolutely, yeah.
Okay,
yeah,
that
the Ahern
sounds-
Live Showroom. So that's what I'm saying. So we rebranded the show now as the A-Stars Comedy Show.
Okay.
So we put a tagline on it: the best of TV, stand-up, magic, and variety. So we're the only ones in town doing comedy magic headliners, ventriloquists, jugglers, as well as great stand-up comics and of course musical acts as we put them in, like yourself or the great Ryan Ahern.
That's terrific. Well, let me say this, ladies and gentlemen, if you got a pencil and paper on hand, 702-221-7283. For those that are not paying attention, listen to me carefully. Chef Mike's talking to you. 702-221-7283. This guy's got some juice. You think we can get a couple comps, if it's possible, to go see them guys if they call the station?
I think we could arrange that for this coming weekend of shows. Jerry Bednob's with the great Kerry Ross, who was on HBO's World's Greatest Escapes. He was the first comedy straitjacket escape guy. Really, really funny. But he's bringing in some other stuff. It's going to be a great show this weekend. Don't miss it. And if you want to find out about future shows, you can very simply text the word comedy to 26786. If you text the word comedy to 26786. Text the word comedy 26786.
Wow. I'd like to give a shout out, if I may, with respect to this wonderful station and my very special Goomba, my pal, Mr. Sullivan, Franny Sullivan. I have a very special friend, Cliff Lawrence, who I know for 40 years.
Yeah, we love Cliff.
And
He's
Cliff
great.
is a big part of his writer, because he wrote for the shows, he wrote for Dick Cavett, he wrote for Johnny Carson.
Yeah, he's a comic genius.
And if you're listening out there, Cliff, stop counting your money, because I know you got plenty of it. You just don't want to spend any of it. And make sure you come up. We just want to say thank you. Do we have a caller coming in? Not yet? Okay, once again, 702-221-7283, 702-221-7283. I got to tell you, Mr. Lorenzo, thank you so much from the bottom of my heart for coming onto the station today. Ladies and gentlemen, this station reaches a tremendous amount of people. We're in different countries. We are in, clue me in. Are we in Italy? Because there's a guy that owes me money. His name is Angelo Dontolini.
Chilacella.
Chilacella. Make sure you come over.
I want to mention Alien Tequila, too. Our friend George Harris over at the Ahern Hotel has this amazing tequila, Alien Tequila.
Well, we got to go get a shot, me and you.
Yeah.
Oh, baby, I'm ready.
What about us?
You know, I always wondered why. I asked my grandfather why we lost the war in Italy. I was so curious, and I'm be 72, and I said, Pop, I got to ask you a question. How did we lose the war? He said, we only fought for one day. And the Italians surrendered because Mussolini went with Hitler. I'm serious.
Yeah,
They went
right,
with-
yeah, no,
went with
exactly.
Hitler. We didn't want to fight.
I thought
We
you were going to say grappa.
Well, we wanted to just relax. So my grandfather said there was a great general called Antonio Andolini, and he was up at the front, and the general and they're shooting. They ran out of ammunition, And the general says to the troops, bring up the shells. And these guys brought up a box of Ranzoni. So that's the reason why we lost the war in Italy. Lorenzo Clark, thank you so much. Something like that. Thank you, Lorenzo.
Let me just do a shout out to the greatest movie of all time.
The Godfather. Whoa.
Hey, Don Vito Corleone. This is from the Academy Museum in L.A. I bring a little bit of Hollywood to the Ahern Hotel.
Well,
on Sahara, across from Sahara.
Thank you very much.
What a nice facility.
Hello, Mr. I never met Mr. Ahern, but Ryan.
He's the best. Don Ahern and Ryan Ahern.
Ryan,
great people.
thank you so much, buddy.
It's really a family experience. Come check us out. Free parking. You'll love it.
I hope they got that piano's tuned when I get on. I got to call somebody to tune it. Anyway, yes, sir. We got a call coming in.
You know what they say? You can tune a piano, but you can't tune a fish.
Yes.
And with that,
walk right into
stop me
that one.
before I pun again. Now we're talking. Now we got a show going.
You know, I'm so excited. This is my first time. And Frandy, I know you're watching me and you're listening to me out there. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to bring these fine gentlemen, to your establishment and giving me the whole hour, to run it. Let me tell you a little piece, because the next guy that I'm going to bring on, you're going to love this. So I'm going to tell you a fast story. Came to Vegas in 1972. I had a hit record. I was in Philadelphia, and the song was called You'll Never Know How Much I Love You. He goes, you'll never know just how much I love you. Great song. It was a hit. They stuck me at the Sands Hotel. You got to remember, I'm in my early 20s. They said, Mr. Leonetti, your dressing room's right down to the left. As I opened the door, I seen the cutest little stove. And I tell the story on the stage. So for those that are coming to see me, you'll hear this story again. And I looked at it, and I got so depressed because it reminded me of my grandmother. So I went over there, and I picked up the phone. I made a long-distance call. Now, them days back in the early 70s, when you made a long-distance phone call, the person on the other end had to accept it. Well, my grandmother picked up the phone, and in Italian, I'm talking to her, and I was telling her how unhappy I am, and I want to come home. She says, Michael, you can't. You got a hit record. What did I teach you? Well, you're unhappy. Eat a dish of macaroni and make you feel better. So I go to the store, and at that place was a place called Skaggs Alpha Beta that used to be in Las Vegas. This is way before Food for Less, Albertsons, Smith's. I go to the store. Remember, folks, I'm just a kid. I'm Napolitan and I'm Sicilian. But I was raised Napolitan style with my grandmother. So I go there and I get some tomatoes, some garlic, and I go back to the dressing room. I make a little marinara sauce. Oh, I'm sorry, folks. That's marinara for you American people out there that are listening to me.
Marinara?
Marinara. Oh, yeah. And I just made a little dish of macaroni, and I sit down, and I'm ready to eat it, and I hear a knock on the door. And as I opened up that door, ladies and gentlemen, who do you think was standing there? Francis Albert Sinatra. He looks at me, he says, hey, kid, what are you doing? I said, I'm making a dish of macaroni. You hungry? And he leads into me. He says, what'd you say to me? I said, I just put the pasta on the table. Have a dish of macaroni. And he points his finger at me. He says, wait a minute. He says, you're that kid with the hit record. I said, that was pretty good. Come on, sit down. This guy was amazed that I talked to him like I'm talking to you. So the guy sits, he eats. He goes, Manon, the food's great. He said, where's the phone? I look around. It's in the corner. He gets up. He walks over to the phone. I'll never forget it, folks. Now, Frank was in his 50s at that time. He said, this is Mr. Sinatra. He said, give me Dean Martin's room. He said, Dean, do me a favor. I'm in the dressing room just for a minute. I want you to meet this kid. He cooks like my mother. The rest was history. Now, for those people, for the over 100,000 people that came to my restaurant in 7 years that I was open, you'll see pictures of Don Rickles and Robert Goulet and I cooked and performed with every major celebrity. So when I met my beautiful wife 7 years ago, she says to me, Michael, she says, let's open up a restaurant and a supper club. I said, honey, you're looking at $500,000 just to open. I said, you don't have to have 250,000 you want to chip in. She said, let me look at my purse. She opened the purse. And naturally, my wife believed in me, and naturally the rest was history. But through the grace of God, my grandmother, who I loved with all my heart, you can never imagine a little boy at the age of 5 that loved her as much as I loved her. She taught me of real home-cooked Italian food. That was the key to my success. Because those days, it was the eple parmigiano, the frutta di mare, soufflé, the gabuzzella, all these Italian dishes that only the Italians that are listening from Italy will understand what I'm talking about. But a few weeks ago, I went into Ahern because I signed an agreement with them and sold out in 7 days. Sold out 7 days. I said, let me stop in and let me take a look at this restaurant. Well, I went in and I had dinner, and I said to myself, Jesus, God, this is delicious. And I sat and I ate, and I had the shrimp. I think it was a scampi. Am I right?
Yeah, with the saffron. Yeah.
It was absolutely delicious. And I said, I like to speak to the guy that cooked this. I expected a guy my age with a cane, white hair, with a glass of wine in his hand, walking out. And who comes out is this handsome, young, 34-year-old, 2-year-old kid. I could be his grandfather next to me, you know. And I thought he was the prep guy. And he says, "Hi, my name is Joel Ott. I'm the executive chef." And I was like stunned. And we talked, and ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, it gives me great pleasure to. This boy is a prodigy, because to be an executive chef into a multi-million-dollar hotel, he not only runs downstairs the Italian, he's got the Chop House, which is not a 5-star, but a 10-star restaurant. Woo-hoo. And if Mr. Ahern didn't put $500,000 in that place, I mean, I'm shocked. The place is gorgeous. So, ladies and gentlemen, TV land, we're going to have a little bit of fun right now. 702-221-7283. I know there's a recipe that you want to know about, something that you're confused about. You might not know how to make a marinara sauce, or you have to know how to make a veal cutlet parmesan, or you're kind of confused somewhere. You need to call in.
How do you cook the scampi?
Yeah, the scampi. I would call it. We got the recipes. Remember, I'm the old. He's the new. Without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together. I can see you clapping out there, buddy. Sit down. You don't have to stand up. Put your hands together for Mr. Joel Ott, everybody. Yeah, Joel.
Chef Mike, thank
One
you so
of the
much.
greatest. One of the greatest. Go ahead, Joel. Shoot.
Oh well, that was a fantastic introduction. I gotta say, you're making me sound like I'm a pretty good guy over here. But I've been the chef at the Ahern since the beginning. After Don bought it, and it was transitioning from the Lucky Dragon. If you guys know the whole story, it's used to be the Lucky Dragon, closed down. It was bought by Don Ahern, and then over the last 4 or 5 years or so, we've been transforming it and changing, and we took the casino out, and we have new restaurant concepts, and I couldn't be luckier to be in the position that I am right now. Just feel very, very blessed to be able to be a part of the whole thing, and to have my name on multiple restaurants in Las Vegas. It's just really been an amazing opportunity for me. Building the team, and as part of being the luxury boutique brand at Ahern, we do our best to just make sure that you get that real family experience when you come in. Everything in the kitchens is handmade from scratch. Quality's there. We're all about the experience, from the showroom to the restaurants to the front desk, everything.
Let me ask you a question real quick, because we got a caller on the line, and we're going to get back to you because we're going to concentrate on the recipes. Where did you study at?
I moved to Las Vegas at the age of 19 years old, and I went to Le Cordon Bleu here. So I trained French culinary school here in town, and I've just had my entire career in Las Vegas. I've had the opportunity to work with some fantastic Italian chefs over the years. I worked at the Wynn for 7 years. I was one of the chefs at the Four Seasons for a while. I'm one of those guys that I'm a sponge. Everywhere I go, every chef that I work with, I learn these techniques, and I learn these recipes, and I learn how to adapt them. And now, so everything we do at Ahern, we have 2 restaurants. We have Joel's Chop House, which is our fine dining restaurant on the 2nd floor, and we have Adamo, which is our Italian, more casual restaurant on the bottom floor.
Well, I tried that chicken parmesan.
Chicken parmesan's the best in town.
Forget about it. It was delicious. I mean, and I couldn't even finish it. I thought I made a big portion. Mamma mia, that was.
My friend Cliff Lawrence said
It's like a manhole cover.
Whoa, unbelievable.
Yeah. Tastes a little better than manhole
was
cover.
great.
No, it tastes amazing. Tastes amazing. Best veal parm.
And it's nice to
Chicken
be
parm.
young and to learn that, because who I studied with was my Aunt Carmela, my Uncle Frank, my Aunt Teresa. So, like I said, it was a different era, different time. You know what I'm trying to say to you? But I want to commend you from the bottom of my heart, son. You got a tremendous future. You got years. I got like years, but you got years. You know what I'm trying to say to you? And I think working for them, and I met Mr. Ahern briefly, the son, and the kid was so humble to me. He was such a nice guy, and especially Lorenzo Clark. They made me feel so welcome, and they really bend over backwards for me and to give me that opportunity. But I got to tell you, son, your food is great. And for those people that are out in TV land and the radio land that has not been to that restaurant, you got to go to that restaurant. Listen to me.
Joel's Chop House.
Joel's Chop House. I'm telling you, there's the big tomahawk steak.
Oh yeah, we got the Australian Wagyu tomahawk steak. It's an amazing.
And
amazing
what they
cut.
do, I seen it. How you tenderize it, they get it and they throw it against the wall, and if it sticks on the wall, no, I mean that'll melt in your mouth. And you got a Tuesday night special, don't you?
Yeah, every Tuesday is $100 off our tomahawk steak.
Oh,
It's Tomahawk Tuesday.
Tomahawk Tuesday.
And that's a 40-ounce.
That's a
44-ounce tomahawk.
Oh,
Yeah, you
John
can,
the
you
shoe
can
would
feed
eat-
two
Wow,
or
really?
a family of 8.
John.
You think the shoe will finish that?
Oh, John will eat the bone and everything. Well, hold on for just a second because we got a caller coming in. It's JD. JD, how are you?
Sta bene, Boccia, che fai?
Yeah, guess about set the bone, Gumba.
Hey, I just tuned you on. You're
Buongiorno,
fantastic.
JD.
Hey, you guys are fantastic, and the topic is perfect because I just cooked a sauce this morning that my grandmother used to teach me how to make. I don't know if you're familiar with it. It's a red sauce with crushed tomatoes and a Genoa tuna fish.
Yeah, it's like putting the bacala in there. That's a holiday dish. That's the Christmas Eve. My grandmother did that on Christmas Eve.
It takes about an hour and 15 minutes with the crushed tomatoes, a couple of cans of the I can't pronounce it now. Genoa yellow fin tuna,
Right.
and you just simmer it for an hour and 15 minutes. You have it with linguine. It's light and it's not heavy on your stomach after you eat it. It's a tremendous quick dish. Red tuna fish sauce. My grandfather taught me how to make the meat sauce.
The bolognese
So I
sauce.
go
You're
back-
talking about bolognese sauce with the meat in it?
Well, no, he didn't. No, he was a pesavante. He didn't make a bolognese sauce. He made just a regular meat sauce with chuck and pork spare ribs.
All right, let me ask you a question. What paese are you?
Half Sicilian, half Perugia.
Oh, okay.
Perugino and Sicilian.
Joel out is looking at me. He said, "What the hell's paese? Paese is, I mean, what part of Italy is your family from?" That's what I've been. Because you got to remember
yeah,
something. The Napolitans cook one way, the Sicilians cook another way, the Calabrese, the Marchigian, the Fujian, they all make it different. I lived in an Italian neighborhood in South Philly, 300 houses, and on Sunday, everybody made meatballs, braciole, anzalada, lasagna, eggplant parmesan, and every meatball tasted different.
Did you ever go to the
Meatball
Wilkes-Barre
tasted.
Scranton area?
No, I never.
in
I was arrested there one time for jaywalking. No, I'm going to tease you. I'm going to tease. Listen, we got a bunch of people coming. There's no words of thank you for calling, and we're going to do something very special. And call in again, and I hope we can help you. And don't forget, do yourself a favor. You live in Vegas, right?
Me?
Yeah.
I've lived here since 1977, 48 years.
Well, I've been here since '72. You got to stop at Ahern. You got to try this kid's food. Unbelievable.
I've been there. I love the place. I love the parking. It's easy. I love this. I met Mr. Ahern. I met Wayne Allen Root there. I met a lot of nice people there.
Well, if you ask for chef, executive chef, Art, he'll even sit down with you. He'll have some food with you.
That's right.
Wayne Allen Root talks about him all the time.
I know.
Yeah,
Right?
he's a very good customer.
Nice
He's
guy,
always on.
nice guy. Well, my dearest friend, buona grazie. Listen, I want to say something in Italian. If you understand Italian?
At the age of 5 years old, a quick story, I spoke it fluently.
All right,
I came
go
home.
ahead.
I came home from school. My grandfather, we lived with my grandfather. He had 8 daughters and four sons, and most of them were there. They all greeted me home from the first day of school. Hey, boccia sta bene, blah, 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 blah. And my grandfather, a third-grade educated sheep farmer from Italy, came here in 1911, said, basta. He's American, only speaking English.
All right. Well, let me say something in Italian to you. Non scordate, saluti sempre uno tuo amico per quello che ha fatto per me. What I said is, don't forget, you'll always be my friend. Thanks for calling in. You're a special guy. Thanks, my dear friend. God bless you. Stetta buona, paisan. Stetta buona.
Stata bon.
We have another caller on the line, ladies and gentlemen. I got a call today from Francis. It says, I got a beautiful girl calling Virginia. She's from Massachusetts. Madonna heard it's snowing out there. Is that true?
Oh, it's brutal. It's brutal. It's not fun here. And I'm hearing you talk about how nice it is out there and the food. And I'm sitting here in 41 degrees. Then there's a wind chill because we never just have 41 degrees. Wind chill, branches down, losing power. And I'm thinking, what am I doing here?
Wow.
Yes.
That's amazing.
No.
That's amazing. I heard you got 7,000 followers. Is that true?
We have 7. Yes. Yes. Yep. That is through the Italian American Alliance, founded about 7 years ago. I think it's over 7,000 now, honestly. And by Dr. Frank Mazzalia, and still on the board, Jimmy DiStefano, Janine Camarda. But anyway, and it was founded to protect Columbus Day. Our mission statement claims that we will defend Columbus. And, as the years have gone by, it's become a little easier because people are realizing, they're beginning to kind of wake up and realize that the lies they've told about Columbus are just that, lies. And part of our story now is we have partnered with some of the Native Americans, and they feel as we do that the things they were taught about Columbus were false. They've read Mary Graybar, Raphael Ortiz. They've done their homework, and they realize there's more to them being taught to hate Italians, and they're waking up.
Well, you
So
got
I think we're doing it.
You got to remember something, Virginia. Years ago, everybody becomes stereotyped. I lived in an Italian neighborhood. I truly believed until I was 9 Jesus Christ was Napolitan. My grandfather said he was from Naples, Italy. I actually believed that because the nuns were Italian, the hucksters were Italian, the doctors were Italian, the Italians were the Italians. Everybody was Italian. You know what I mean? I lived in South Philadelphia. The people that I lived with was Frankie Avalon, Bobby Rydell, Mario Lanza, Jack Clubman. I mean, the list is endless, guy. Because I'm 72 now. Those guys got 12 to 14 years on me. They're in their late 80s. So I'm the baby boomer. I'm the next in line to say goodbye. You know what I'm trying to say to you? But
yeah, but wait a minute. Wait, you're telling me Jesus Christ was an Italian?
let me tell you something. My grandfather told me, he told me his name, Jesus' name, and I couldn't. I thought it was Yahweh. I thought it was Jesus, but that's not his name. His name is Howard, and I never knew that. Listen to me. Our Father who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. I just want you to know that. Thank you. Lorenzo Clark gave me that joke. It ain't me. He's the one who gave it to me.
You know we're going to hell for that. Catholic girl, you're saying that to me, and we're going to go to hell.
Well, why I have Chef Joel here, you okay? And you're Italian, I'm sure. What paese are you? What part is your family from?
Wait, he's Sicilian, half Sicilian, and half Neapolitan, Naples.
Like me, Napolitan. But the Sicilians cook different than the Napolitans. I cook both. Like if I make udlip, tripe. The Sicilians cook one way, the Napolitans cook a different way. Because we only got a little bit of time, and I really want to talk about Ahern, because I love these people. I love that hotel. Is there a certain recipe, something that you want to know? Because I got the master of disaster right here, the great Chef Ott, who's fantastic. Is there something that you want to ask this young man?
Yes, absolutely. Gravy or sauce?
Well, for him, he's going to say sauce. I'm going to say gravy because that's the Italian. But no, out here is sauce.
Working with so many different Italian chefs and learning from them, there's one thing that I learned. That's that I don't tell an Italian that I cook Italian because I didn't learn it from my grandmother. But you want to call it sauce, you want to call it gravy, whatever it is, we make it delicious.
Wow. Well, listen.
Oh, good for you.
I
think I might be flying out. It's warm. It sounds like the food's great. And what am I doing here?
Well, I'm glad. Listen, it has been the pleasure. I know that Francis is very happy because he's watching me, and he's got two guys with guns outside to make sure I don't say the wrong thing. No, I'm only teasing you. And let me, before I go, what's your name, sir? Johnson. Justin. Justin is our tech. He's our radio guy. And, behind every great man, you got to have a great sound guy. And this young gentleman, he looks like Brad Pitt. I mean, he looks like Brad Pitt to me. But then again, I had a couple of drinks before I came in. Anyway, thank you so much, my love. Thanks for calling in.
Thank you.
All right, doll.
Ciao.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Thank you, sweetheart. We have another caller, Michelle Maybell.
Mike, how are you? How is everybody doing? Hi, honey.
What are you doing, Michelle?
I'm just listening in. I'm enjoying the conversation. This is great.
Are you having a good time?
I sure am. Loving every minute of it.
Okay, I know you don't cook, so there's no use even calling me and asking me about a recipe. That's, ladies and gentlemen, that's Sal's wife, Sal Santiago's wife.
Hi, honey. How are you?
Hey, baby. How are you?
Oh, forget about it.
Good. I just wanted to chime in and see how everybody's doing. That's what I was calling.
Let me ask you a question, Michelle. I think next week, I think the four of us should, my wife and I, we all should go see Chef Ott at Joel at the place so we can have nice dinner and go see the show. And let's give Lorenzo Clark a hard time. Michelle, I love you. I thank you. How much time do we got left? What do we got? What's that? Go as long as you want. Talk as long as I want. Okay, I want to get a pillow. Okay, Michelle, I love you. I'll see you tonight.
Okay,
Don't
we
be
love
late.
you guys. Sounds great. I can't wait. All right, take care, everybody. Bye.
All right. Thank you, Michelle.
honey.
Bye.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, we're back here with the magnificent Mr. Ott, Mr. Joel Ott. Joe, let's talk, I like this menu. Let's talk about this menu. This menu excites me. Let's stick with the pasta. We'll start with the pasta. Name these pastas for me. You got PES mussel. Is that risotto?
That's risotto, yeah.
Risotto. Okay, keep going.
All right, so we got the mussel risotto. That's kind of a little bit of a play on the classic Reezy Beezy. We got the rice and the peas, we got the bacon, and then I added a little fresh mussels to it for a nice kind of a little seafood touch to it. And then we do another risotto with mushrooms. Take wild mushrooms, we cook them in a little garlic butter. Then we make a nice risotto with some truffle. And then we take the mushrooms, we put it right on top and let that garlic butter kind of go all over the risotto because I like it when you get a little something with the risotto, a little Parmesan cheese. And then when it's in season, we'll shave fresh truffles on top too.
Let's talk about the ricotta ravioli.
Oh, yeah. So one of the things I've learned a lot in my career is all different kinds of fresh pastas and raviolis and stuff. So I love making raviolis by hand. And this is just a beautiful, beautiful dish. Just really nice, simple, tender pasta dough, nice ravioli filling. I call it a silky tomato sauce. What we do is we take our marinara sauce, we add a little butter, and we blend it so it's this nice, beautiful, creamy sauce.
What was that sauce again?
Marinara
sauce.
I don't have the
Marinara.
So yeah, we take that. That's just a nice dish, nice ravioli there.
Well, we got to talk about this because let's face it, this Sunday, today is Palm Sunday.
Amen.
Next week is Easter Sunday. So Easter, ladies and gentlemen, for those people that don't want to cook and dirty the house and spend all that money at Albertsons and Smith's, okay, what you need to do is you need to go there for the lamb.
Oh yeah,
because a lot of the Italians, they go for like me. I'm making lamb.
Buona Pasqua.
But why don't you tell them the recipe about the lamb?
Lamb's fantastic. So I like New Zealand lamb. I like to go with the New Zealand lamb. It's always a little smaller, but it's more tender. It's got that great lamb flavor. And then what we do is we give it a little sear, and then we rub it with just a little bit of Dijon mustard, and then we do a crust on the outside, which is some chopped herbs, some pecorino romano, and pistachio. Now,
a lot of people are not meat eaters, but they're fish eaters. Let's talk about the fish. What's that say that on there?
We got some great fish selections. So we do Ora King salmon. That's our salmon dish. Ora King is a fantastic salmon, very, very tender, rich, got all that nice seafood flavor in it. We do a nice little Dijon mustard beurre blanc with it, little confit tomato for garnish. Everybody loves the salmon. It's just a really nice dish.
Now, many people come in, they want to watch their weight, and they say, we want to split a dish. A lot of people did that in my restaurant. They would come in and they want to split a dish because my portions were like not to be believed. But let's talk about the appetizers. So let's say I went in and I'm sitting down there with my lovely wife and Sal and his lovely wife are there, and we're looking at each other and we're looking at the menu. And you walked over and you say, hi, everybody, I'm the executive chef here. And I say, Executive Chef Joel, why don't you suggest something to me? What would you suggest?
All right, well, I just added a bunch of new appetizers to the menu. We got a really nice selection there. One of my favorites is I do is 12-hour slow-smoked pork belly.
Ooh,
I'm not sure that's going to help you watch your weight or not, but it's delicious. So what we do is we smoke it 12 hours overnight, nice and tender. And then we serve it with this strawberry and white balsamic vinegar gastrique, which is just kind of like a sauce that's a little bit sweeter, made from fresh strawberries. And then their garnish on that is actually a spicy candied peanut. So you get a little crunch, you get a little sweet, you get a little smoke. I like that blend of all that stuff that goes together. Just this nice, beautiful appetizer.
Ladies and gentlemen, you listen to this young man, you better stop what you're doing right now. Pick up the phone, call Ahern, make that reservation. We're talking Easter Sunday, the place, I want to tell you something. I never seen a place so beautiful in my life like upstairs at the Chop House. It took my breath away. Boy, I got to tell you something. I'm not done yet. Come on, ladies and gentlemen. Don't forget, we gave you the number 4 times. How many times do you want me to tell you this number? There's got to be something you want to know, how to make like a nice marinara sauce. Give us a call. You know something I wanted to tell you? That at my restaurant, I had a Jewish neighborhood, and I made brisket. Now, that's a Jewish meal. It's not Italian.
Corned beef?
Something along that line. And believe it or not, ladies and gentlemen, I went through 1,000 pounds of brisket a week. 1,000 pounds. And on my menu, it said, if you can't cut that meat with a spoon, I will pay for everybody's dinner at that table. And through the grace of God, I see people like trying to tug to try to get that free meal. But I says, no way, no how. And it was pretty good. What is your best dish? Like if let me give you, for instance, if the Pope would come right now, and say, I'm going to book him. And Lorenzo called me. He said, Mike, you're not going to believe this, but the Pope called, and he's coming to your restaurant. What the hell would you cook the Pope?
Well, I hope he likes meat because I gotta cook him a steak. And my best steak on the menu is definitely that Australian Wagyu tomahawk. That is an absolutely incredible cut. It's so what we do is we get the tomahawk. It comes from Australia. Westholme is the brand that we get in, and what I found is that the Australian meat is on a different rating scale than the USDA local, what we do here. You know, here the highest it goes is prime. From Australia, they have a 1 through 9, and prime is about a 5 or a 6 on that scale. So we get the 7/8 that come in. So we're actually a couple steps above prime on the Australian Wagyu that we get in, and it's Wagyu meat, and it's just absolutely incredible. The marbling is ridiculous when it comes in, and unbelievable. And then all of our steaks are cooked with the special rub that I make. I call it herb salt. What we do is we take black peppercorn, Himalayan pink salt, fresh herbs, garlic, shallots, all fresh, beautiful ingredients. We blend it, and then we'll dehydrate it really quickly to keep those flavors in. And I got this seasoning. It goes on all of my steaks in the restaurant.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, did you hear all that, all those spices? My grandmother cooked with the same thing. No, I'm only kidding. You know what she cooked with? Salt, pepper, parsley, garlic, and bazanagol. That was the spices. We got somebody on the line? No? What's this say here? I got 1 minute and 15 seconds?
1:15.
What's that?
You can go over.
I can go over? Oh, I'm so excited. I got the chills. I can stick on. Now comes to the best.
I was going to say, when the Pope comes, if Pope comes on Friday, especially during Lent, he's only going to eat seafood. I know your scallops are unbelievable. The scallop recipe that you do on the appetizer, and maybe tell a bit what seafood you do.
Well, the scallops are great, but I wrap them in bacon, so I don't know if that qualifies for that one or not.
Tastes is good.
But it's fantastic either way.
That's not even kosher.
Not quite.
You know, Chef Joe, when I was in China, I produced a show called The Shaolin Monks. And I went to Vienna, and from Vienna, in fact, you go on the air, ladies and gentlemen, and pull up the Shaolin Monks, you'll see Michael Leonetti. I was there for 6 weeks. I wrote the score. I had a 6-camera shoot. It took me 2 weeks to do a 7-minute video. 2 weeks to audit it, and then to cut it. I went back to Vienna, and I had a German guy that was working the controls, and I had an interpreter to tell him what needed to be done. And I booked him at the MGM. This is the year 2000. And I studied with a guy. I went there. He was a fantastic, unbelievable chef. And he taught me something on the seafood dishes. I said, what do you do? And he took me back in the kitchen, and I called it the gold spice. He got lobster shells, and he fried the lobster shells just till the oil turned orange. And in all my seafood dishes, that's what I did.
That's exactly how I make my lobster bisque. I take the live lobsters, I take the shells, and I fry them in butter.
Oh, butter.
I fry them in butter in
All
a big
right.
pot, and then all that flavor comes out, and then we add the fennel and the vegetables and the herbs and a little tomato in there, fresh basil, and then we simmer it for a while, and then I'll blend it. Not too much, but I'll blend it with the immersion blender. Kind of get it all together, and we strain it out, and all that flavor with that butter that you cooked in there. That's
that good. Are you familiar with brajol? Do you know what brajol is?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. My grandmother used to do brajol, but it was flank steak or round steak. Now, when I opened my restaurant, that was great, but the next day it dried out. So I used filet mignon. I didn't do nothing else but filet. We would cut it, pound it, stuff it, roll it, pan fry it, marinara sauce on the top, over rigatoni, right out the door. So I went to a Chinese restaurant. You're going to love this. Should I tell them the story, Sal?
Go ahead, man.
All right, you're going to love this. And I always came up with stories. There were BS stories, but there were stories, and people believed them, So I went to the Chinese restaurant or a Japanese restaurant, and they gave me some steak, and they had a stone, and you cook it on a stone, and I'm like this, and I'm looking at it, and my wife says, "What are you doing?" I say, "I got an idea." So I went online, and I pull up online, and there's a hibachi stone. Now, how am I going to sell this? Okay, how the hell am I going to sell it? So and it was beautiful. So I came up, I call it the Cleopatra. So I would say, ladies and gentlemen, when you come in, are you a seafood lover or are you a meat lover? Right out of my mouth, first thing I asked. You're a meat lover? There's 2 meats I specialize in: my brisket that'll melt in your mouth, or the Cleopatra. All right. Now, what the Cleopatra guy says is, when I was in Egypt, it's a stone that they cut the Great Pyramids with. I baked that stone in the oven for 4 hours to get 500 degrees. and I marinate it in a special sauce. But what's beautiful about this, you cook it right on a stone. It'll melt in your mouth like Holy Communion. You know what I mean? And the people, well, anyway, one day these people came in, they were from Egypt. And I said, I went into my pitch. I said, what's the 2 things you like? I said, my brisket, and they're listening to me. They said, Chef Mike, we're from Egypt. We never heard about that stone. I said, are you from Cairo? They says, no, we're not from Cairo, but we never heard about that stone. So I said to them, do you know who Imhotep is? And his wife, Amaxamun? I said, well, they're the ones that originated. They're from the movie The Mummy. Thank God in heaven they didn't. And my wife was shaking her head, saying, oh, Motto, this guy's going to get us in trouble. You know, that's the type of stuff. And like I said, what I did was I named. Oh, unbelievable. But let me say this to you, okay? Because, you know, again, I want you to tell everybody how you feel working for the Ahern family.
Oh, it's incredible. It's been the best job I've ever had. The best. You know, the highlight of my career. You know, like we were saying, and Don and Ryan are just fantastic people. You know, from inside and out, and you know that's what really makes Ahern great is that family touch. You know, you come there and you feel like you're family because you're part of our family.
Well, that's marvelous. Actually, how much more time I got? 15? Great, because I'm going to get back with Sal, you're out. Forget about you. But I want to get back with Lorenzo. But before I do, I want to give you a few minutes. Any callers coming in? I say, you people are so damn wrapped up and listen to what I'm saying, you don't want to pick up the phone. You know what I mean? I got to tell you a story that you'll really appreciate with the restaurant. Having the restaurant was great. In over 7 years, I accumulated over 100,000 names, phone numbers. Now, when you came into my restaurant and you met a Sal will tell you, I need your credit card. You weren't getting until I got a copy of your credit card because, you know, we had a little time mom and pop and it was only seated 100 people. And Friday, Saturday night, if you didn't call to cancel, there was a $100 charge. And if you called, I wouldn't charge you. It gave me a chance to push that out. So at the restaurant, I was so excited about the place. It was so wonderful. And again, closing broke my heart because my wife opened it for me and I closed it for her. And I said to myself, what am I going to do? I mean, I have enough money. I mean, I'm very well-to-do. I mean, I don't have to work the rest of my life, but entertaining and cooking, you know. And I reached a point where, I'll be honest, folks, I'm tired of rolling meatballs. I was there 4 o'clock in the morning. So when I went to Ahern, I want to commend the Ahern family for buying me sight unseen. They never seen the show. They did not know who I was. They checked up on me. So it was a story years ago when I was 17 years old. I played a place called the Porterhouse. I'll never forget it. And I walked in, and my band was me and the 2 other guys, the Sabella brothers. I was 17. They were 16. They were twins. And they said, how much you want? I said, $25 a man. And they said, $25 a man? I said, yeah. And I says, I'll pack the joint. They said, you'll pack the joint? I said, yeah. He says, you play drums, don't you, Mike? I said, yeah. He said, you ever doodle on piano? Yeah, I doodle. He said, you ever play a Jewish piano? I said, I never heard of a Jewish piano in my life. He said, would you like to see it? I said, yeah. He takes me behind the bar, ladies and gentlemen. He looks at the cash register and says, there's the Jewish piano. Since you're going to pack the place, I'll give you 50 cents a drink. Well, Ahern did the same thing. Since you're going to pack the place, I'll give you the ticket.
There you go.
And I got to tell you something. I was excited. And again, thank you, Mr. Ahern. And I hope, and before we close the show, the last 3 minutes, I want to tell you the good news, what we're working on. But right now, ladies and Gentiles, monkeys and reptiles, I stand before you to sit behind you to talk about a subject I know nothing about, the 4 corners of the round table. We got Fran on the phone. Come on, Franny.
I'm going to listen to you for a minute.
Oh, there's the boss. Did I do something wrong?
Yeah, you're blabbing away there, buddy. I love it.
We got a lot of background music in there, Fran. You got the TV on? Turn your radio down. Yeah, turn that radio down, Fran. Fran, listen to me. We got Lorenzo Clark here, which is magnificent. The great Sal Santiago, the magnificent prodigy. You know what I mean? I thought I was good. This kid's got me beat. He's got it. When I went into his kitchen yesterday, Maron, I went out of my mind. See, some guys pick up a gun, the knife. I seen a ladle. I got excited. I said, "Where's your Hobart?" I wanted to kiss it. I said, "A Hobart, a 50-pound Hobart. Oh my God, I love Hobart." This is Francis Sullivan. He's the man that runs this. He's the man that gave me this hour. Say hello to these guys.
I'm looking at.
Thank you very much. Muchas gracias.
I'm looking at the chef.
Which one?
Which one?
Can they hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you, Fran. Go ahead.
Okay. I'm looking at the chef here. He's a good-looking kid, you know.
Oh,
Looks
He's
like
going to have women. He's going to have women come to see him.
Good. God
I
bless.
can't hear you. They shut you guys off. I can't hear him. Justin, you got to put the speaker on. I can't hear them. Oh, you know why? Because I have my TV on. That's all right.
Oh, okay.
But I also, you know, Justin, I like Mike's comedian. That guy was funny as hell. What we need to do, I mean this. I want to redo my advertiser for
Ahern?
both of these. As a matter of fact, all three of them. I'm going to do something for the chef too. But these two guys, I want to do something on my show, plugging these guys. I want to plug that show that he does with all these different comedians.
Great.
And then I want to get your other guy, your buddy, for 25, 35, 75 years. I want to get him to Mike. So you're going to help me with that, and I can really promote his place for him. But I want to get back to Chef here, because when I met him, he was so nice to me. That Chef Chef Joe, he really was nice guy. I had a beautiful dinner there. I brought, as a matter of fact, I brought a young lady with me it's been worked with me for 2 years on this show. It took over 2 years to get me to do this show, and this is my fourth show that you're on. Thanks, Mike, for doing it for me, because I was just under the weather and I needed somebody that had a little class. You know, knowing that you were from the the Porterhouse at 8th and Porter, 7th and Porter Street.
Yeah. It's my hometown. You know, Fran, I'm going to put you on. I'm not going to throw you under the bus, but I'm going to put you. I'm going to call you out. You know, I'm in negotiations right now to do a program like my restaurant, The Experience, because I'm looking for the right place to go at Ahern's after my show at the 28th and do my show at the Chop House and give that same experience. Right now, nothing's written in stone, but I want you listeners to know I not only have the great Joe Cortez, 178 fights, title fights. He's like a greeter for me. He meets the people at the door. He signs autographs. And I thank you, Fran, for teaming up with me, because if I do this program with these guys, you know, we're partnering together, because I need an army, because I need to fill that room. I like to start with 2 and 3 days, 4 days a week, 5 days. I'll sing 7 days a week, as long as I don't have to cook as long as I don't have to roll those meatballs. And I thank you for being a partner with me, with the show, because that's what that place needs. It needs something. Listen to me, Franny. There's a lot of great restaurants. I was successful because it was something different. It doesn't have to be my mother's house food. This kid is as good as I am. It's the experience. I want these people to come in. I want them to swing. I want them to scream. I want them to dance. I want them to spend their money. I want them to have a great time. And that, because 75% of my business, Franny, was the Strip, Caesar's Palace, MGM Grand. I mean, you know, trying to say to you, Sun City, they're looking for a coupon. Forget about it. It cost me $54,000 a month for that overhead. You got a coupon? This is the wrong joint. I said, forget about a coupon. I can't give you a coupon. You know, but thank you, Fran, and I really mean that from the bottom of my heart. You are a wonderful guy, and like I said, if we signed this contract, they're going to know you're going to be a part of it. You know, like I said, look, I'm a champion. I'm in a ring. I need some great corner guys. I need a great manager. That's Joe Cortez. He's the guy that gets shaking the hands. I need a great cut man because I get hit with a right hand and it's a little late. Right. You are there. The back plus my 100,000 people. Listen, come on. You know, this is something that's very, very serious. That's why I want to make sure I get the right place at the right time. And if I can't find none, I'll just open up again someplace else. I might even make Mr. Ahern an offer he can't refuse.
Well, let me get in
He'll
here.
make one right back.
Let me get in here for
Hey,
a minute.
speaking of which, I forgot to mention, Tyrus from the Gutfeld show, the massive sidekick to Greg Gutfeld. Yeah, Tyrus. He's coming here June 2nd to the Ahern Hotel. We're doing his Nuff Said comedy tour June 2nd at the Ahern. We just signed the deal on this guy, and he's coming in. He's gonna sell like you 800 seats or something. It's crazy.
That sounds great. I'm very excited about. Did you want to say something, friend?
Yes, I did.
Go ahead, buddy.
You know, putting this show together, it took me a long time and a lot of finagling in my head on the best way to do it. I got in touch with, and I'm doing this for those two gentlemen sitting in the middle of you, right next to you, these two fellas that are Ahern people. I put together something with the Italian American Sons and Daughters of Italy. And what I did, so they know, I have 35 states. And in those 35 states, there's 350 Italian American clubs. And I have access to all of them. And that one lady that called you from Massachusetts that has 7,000 members, she's been on my show before. And very matter of fact, they said, Fran, they're yours, So what I want them to understand is when I promote that hotel, I can promote that hotel to Italian people. I have really a niche. I don't mind saying it either. I really do. Because somebody said they're from, the comedian's mom and dad came from Trieste.
Yeah, my mother's from
Trieste.
Trieste.
Is that right?
La Mula di Trieste.
Trieste.
Sì, sì.
That's where my grandfather came from.
Oh, mi cugini.
Okay? Yeah. And Rudolph Valsano is his name.
Okay, I had a Zia Rudy, so I had an Uncle Rudy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Rudolfo Valsano. Wow. In any event, what I want them to understand is I can bring a lot of people. Besides, I got to say, Giada Valenti was
we had her
appearing at your
so
hotel
great.
a couple
she's
times.
So great. We love Giada.
Well, yeah, I know her well. But in any event, the people that I have are in Venice, they're in Rome, they're in Milan, they're in Genoa, and I can get them very, very. I'm only on a short period of time. I haven't been on long enough to put a package together.
Sure.
But when I start putting packages together for all these Italian clubs,
yes,
I can bring them to that hotel in a heartbeat. I can fill that hotel.
Perfetto.
A few times a year.
Eccellente.
But so.
Are you ready to play that Jewish piano though? That's the question.
Yeah, man. Are you kidding? I grew up with a Jewish piano.
Yeah.
Well,
Hey, Mike.
Yeah, buddy.
Mike.
Yeah, buddy.
My grandmother had. I swear this is true. She had the 7th liquor license in the state of Pennsylvania. So when you said the piano, that's what my mother used to say to me, Fran. Without that, you can't do the things you want to do.
Right.
Now, do you need a 20? Go in and register and get it. And that's how I grew up, and I really did.
Well, if you remember, friend, and I say this publicly because I'm a straight shooter. I don't BS. You know me. I've been in Vegas 50 years. I says, Franny, you team up with me. I got a pizza. I'll give you a slice. I'm not worried about the money. I want people to make money. But to go into a place like this, do you understand? This is not my mother's house anymore. It's just a whole nother ball game. We're talking about 200. Right,
really.
Right. It's a whole nother feel. I'm not there to change anything. I'm there to improve what they're doing. I want to make sure it's a success, and I need people like yourself to be in my pocket. And when I got that pizza, and you know what I'm talking about.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
Not like I'll take care of you. This is what I'm going to give you. You take a slice on my end. It's worth it because I know I'll win the championship because you need an army to win. Most of these acts in town, they're called pickup bands. I don't want to mention their names. They get a gig and they look for a trombone player. They look for a bass player. There's no harmony. I'm with my guys 40 years I've been playing with these guys. Yeah. We got 3-part harmony. You were at my restaurant 1,000,000 times.
They're unbelievable.
And you got to remember, when I talked to Mr. Ahern, he said they want to talk. I said, wait till after the 20. These guys don't have a clue of what I'm going to do to that place. They don't have an idea, but I guarantee
No,
you,
they don't.
they'll be at ringside and they're going to watch. They're going to watch. And then I said to Lorenzo, I said, when it's over, Lorenzo's going to say to Mr. Ernst, so what do you want to do with this guy? You want him to walk or you want to tie this guy up? How do you want to work it? Because this guy's going to buy a joint, so before he spends out money, you're going to tie this son of a gun up. Listen, we're running out of time. We got 4 minutes. I want to personally thank you from the bottom of my heart. From the bottom of my heart for giving me and anytime you need me, I'll be more than happy, really, to come here again and bring these guys back again. Maybe I can get the Ahern, the son, because he got a PBS special. Ryan Ahern, he'll be. Maybe we can squeeze him over here. I don't know about the old man. I don't have that kind of juice. But trying to say to you. But we could bring.
You might have to go to him. But
we got the chef.
We'll get Ryan here to play a little piano.
Chef Ott. His real name is Adelino, but he had to cut it because if he would have used that A-E-I-O and U, he never would have got a job in a major hotel. I'm telling you right now. Trust Leonetti, forget it. So Sal Santiago, I thank you from the bottom of my heart.
Thank you, Chef.
Lorenzo Clark, thank you for believing in me and buying a product that you never even tasted before.
Grazie tante.
Chef, my dearest friend, when you showed me your restaurant, when you showed me that kitchen, I looked in your eyes. Son, I've been around a long time, and the word's called discernment. If I got a bad feeling about something, there's no money can get me to do something. I like what you're doing. I'm excited about the hotel. And you think I sold out that night? If we can do something together, you don't have a clue, son, what Mike Leonetti could do for that place. Because it's a team effort. Because I got 100,000 people that'll bust on my cajones to go to some place over here. Thank you, my dear friend that did all the work. What's your name again? Justin, thank you. I know you're not Italian. I'm very sorry. And
but he likes Italian food.
Sal Santiago, I thank you. Thank you for the station. And I close my show all the time with this. If I had Aladdin's lamp and I had one wish to make, I would not wish for caviar or any special dish. I would wish for dollars, yet dollars have few. I wish to come back here again, ladies and gentlemen, to perform, to talk to people as lovely as you. Buona grazie, stetta buona. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you, Mike. Thank you, guys.